I feel like being forced to wear masks is a violation of personal rights, but I want to respect the private rights of businesses to decide what they require. How do I act? I feel weak, as you say. I feel if I don't stop wearing them, I'm participating in a lie. And if I don't stop, there's no end. Look, everybody is torn apart by this situation, and no one really knows what to do. And that includes me. I think by and large, the entire human race has done a remarkable job of dealing with this pandemic. Our cities are not burning down. Our economies are not in tatters. We're not completely out of our minds. And really, that's quite an accomplishment. Now, are our cities partly in tatters? And are we partly insane? Yes, definitely. And do we know that all of what we did was good? Well, it most certainly wasn't. But we stumbled by not too badly. And, with any luck, this is going to come to an end. So I guess my advice, and this is the advice I follow myself, is I think it's time to suspend judgment for 6 months. Sometimes you don't know what to do. And, your conscience is bothering you because, being forced to wear masks obviously is a violation of your personal rights. And so is being locked down. And we've sacrificed our civil liberties in a dreadful manner. And God only knows what we're going to do when the next infectious disease cycle begins, because we don't know where the boundaries are. Like, what if we have a particularly bad influenza? Are we going to be locked down again? The precedents are in, and now we have to deal with that. And that is a very terrifying issue. And to the degree that it's terrifying and that it's a real threat, you're tortured by your conscience. But I don't think that it's obvious that what you're doing is wrong. It's obvious that it's really complicated. And so my response to this is to suspend judgment for 6 months, for 6 months from now. Fearing as I do the loss of civil liberties and being wary as I am about what it means for how we're going to handle infectious disease in the future. I'm wearing the masks when I'm required to. So that's the best I can do with that. I have no particular insight with regards to this pandemic. It affected me and my family in the same way it affects everyone else. It throws us into psychological disarray in all the same ways and brings up all the same moral questions. And I wish I had a better answer, but I don't. So, I've got the vaccine. So that's a partial answer on my part. But I understand the position of those who don't want to take it. And I would be unwilling to compel them by force, that's for sure, because that's not the right approach. Although I would encourage people to get the damn vaccine and let's get the hell over this. But I did that. I put my body on the line to do it. That's my decision. I'm not saying it's right. It's what I decided to do. So give yourself a break. Of course, you have moral qualms, and you should, and so should all of us. But, I guess I would close that by saying, but let's not forget we did a pretty damn good job of dealing with this so far. It looks like a mess on the ground, but it could have been a hell of a lot worse, and I'm really amazed that it wasn't. I know the cards haven't all fallen into play yet, and who knows. Maybe one thing it could do is alert us to the presence of our real enemy. Because we have lots of proximal enemies and they tend to be other people, but we have a real enemy, and that tends to be infectious disease. And AIDS didn't quite teach us that, and the pandemic probably wouldn't either, but it would be a good thing to learn. Maybe we could aim our future selves at an increasingly disease-free society for everyone in the world. And that's the other thing. It has to be for everyone, right? Because we're all the same body, as it turns out. So getting a handle on infectious disease around the world, that's an unwarranted good, and it might have extremely beneficial effects politically too, especially if Randy Thornhill is right. And the worst of tyrannical authoritarianism is driven by concerns that arise as a consequence of infectious disease prevalence. It's a radical hypothesis, and maybe it's true. And so if we got rid of infectious disease to the degree that we could, if we made that public enemy number one, we might simultaneously be doing the best possible thing to limit the attractiveness of totalitarian ideology. So, you can watch Randy Thornhill's discussion with me if you want more information if you want more information about that, it'll be released within the next 2 months. It's a killer theory, so to speak. So